Welcome to Coach Business, the podcast. I'm your host and coach, Caryn Gillen, like car insurance. It's okay if you've been calling me Karen in your mind. Now's your time to update. I'm here with a coaching episode today with Missy Frisch, and she is a coach and she has come to be coached today, which I'm so thankful for. So, Missy, why don't you tell us who you help?
Happy to, and I'm happy to be here and be coached. So, I am Missy, and we'll be talking a little bit today about who I help. And generally speaking, I help stressed out women who have really busy lives feel more peace in those lives without having to totally clear their calendars.
Nice. Okay, I'll hire you now.
Love it. You
Yeah.
have been busy lately.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, great. So, what should we coach on?
So it's funny. I've been a general life coach for quite a while, and I've realized recently that this is sort of my special sauce. Um, and it's maybe partially because it's my own life and my own story at the moment. I have a lot on my own plate and have really figured out how to um, enjoy it, and
Mhm.
embrace it and realize the choice in it. But what I realize I keep doing is circling back to my messaging, and I have this story in my head that I am not clear. And it's causing me to change things and doubt myself and show up a little weird in places. So I would like to attempt to gain some confidence in the fact that I have a message that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, just to reflect for you right now, like I haven't heard you say anything that doesn't make perfect sense to me already.
That's helpful.
So we have this one piece of data. Tell me,
Excellent.
like, because I hear that you're on to yourself. You have the awareness that the statement "I'm not clear" is not a fact. You're on the on the side of like getting that.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what your definition of quote unquote clear is?
Great question. I have not thought about that. I would say in this context, for me, I think it's consistent. For one, it's I think part of why it feels unclear is that I'm relying on other people to reflect back that it's clear and that there's a need rather than me just going with it and
Mhm.
embracing it, if that's an answer to your question.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is I want the outside world to validate my niche for me so that I can move forward.
That'd be lovely.
If everyone said this is going to work. Well, let's get really specific about it. Let's say you got the validation that you wanted. What would be
Mhm.
happening? What would the outside world be showing you if you were clear, if you had this?
Mm, um, I think I would get more engagement with my engagement generally. I'm really wanting to have more conversations with people. So more, and by engagement, I mean replies to my emails,
Mhm.
comments on my Instagram posts. Um, and to be fair to myself, I've really, since working with you in the last couple months, just begun to be really consistent on that front.
Mhm.
So I think I'm really at the beginning phase of having a more reliable relationship with my people anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
So that reliability makes me think about kind of what I heard earlier is you want to trust this. And it sounds
mm,
like you are becoming more trustworthy, even with yourself, about how you show up for business.
I love that reflection, 100%. And
Yeah.
that's a new thing for me to feel really um, grounded and reliable for myself, for my
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Which I imagine is what you help people do is help women feel confident that they'll show up for themselves too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is that interesting thing about new business is we go into it with nothing and we actually have to expect nothing. But when we do have expectations, they generally get in our way.
hmm
And I think for you, I want to play with the difference between having an expectation for my business and how the outside world should show up for it versus having agreements with myself for how I will show up with my business.
Mm, I like that. And yes, I also do that with my clients. So
Oh, that's funny.
funny.
Of course.
But yes,
So,
I need that work.
yeah, because what you want is to be reliable, consistent, trustworthy. You want engagement. So, you want to be sure you're engaged. What agreements can you make with your business that you're going to show up for it in those ways?
So the fun thing is right now I have an agreement with myself that has been really solid, which is I post on Instagram 3 times a week and I email once a week. And that feels really good. I think what the next step is, the next agreement is a little bit more consistency with the topics that I'm
Okay.
showing up with. Um,
Yeah, so people really understand because now, and I love that you're pointing to like the skill build of this because it's one
mhm.
thing to show up and be clear right away. That's a bigger ask than I'm just gonna show up. And so you're there and that feels normal now. You've made it feel like a regular weekly thing.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So
yeah.
now when you show up on Instagram and in someone's inbox, what can they expect from you?
Ooh, I have not really thought about this yet, other than I mean, okay, I won't, they can expect me to be real. I share stories about myself, and something I like to talk about is how, some people think you're a coach, like, oh, you got life figured out. I'm like, oh
Right.
no, no, no.
No,
Hold on. Like,
no, we
I've
just
got
like
some
asking questions a lot.
exactly. I'm super curious.
Mhm.
So I'm super authentic about,
Mhm.
my what I'm working on and all of that. So I think they can expect that from me. They can expect hopefully some lightness.
Mhm.
I try to keep things light. I do have a tendency to occasionally embrace we only live this life once, but I think I'm more fun when I show up in that lighter energy.
Mhm.
Um, those are the top two that come to mind. But I mean, support, if I'm always offering it, I 100% they can expect support from me, without signing up for a call. Like I genuinely want to have conversations and
Mhm.
go back and forth. So those are the first three that come to mind.
The other one I hear in there that you didn't say is like you're really going to see them
Mm-hmm.
so they can expect to be seen by your work. So those
Yeah.
to me all feel like so you're going to be real, authentic, bring some lightness, be supportive, you're going to see them. And those to me all feel kind of like the way you'll show up,
Mm-hmm.
but still not the what you'll show up with.
Yes.
Right. And I'm guessing that you're already doing all those things the real, authentic scene, all that stuff is already happening. Right.
I think that's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you think like, and this is one of those areas where I think in our own minds, it really feels like we're being put on the spot about like, what am I going to talk about? Oh my God. And we freak out and we lack all creative thought from there forward.
Yes.
But if we put that aside for a second and just think about yourself, you're the person you would love to work with the most and the favorite client you've had to date. And you just think about like, how do I need to show up for them so that they can be served and helped and understand, even have awareness that life can be different? What do those people need?
Yeah, I think that last part is the part that always lights me up, like the
Yeah.
awareness that life can even be different. Um,
Yeah.
so I think it's that showing, and maybe it's more storytelling um, of before and after of I like to think of a lot of the little moments, particularly like in when I'm thinking about the super uber full schedule, how you can, slow down and like hug your person for an extra 30 seconds and like how
Mhm.
that can have an outsized impact on your life and kind of trying to just wiggle loose the fact that we have to completely clear our schedules out to feel okay,
Mhm.
you know? Yeah.
That's a good one. Like that feels like when you need to think about what's good content for my people is the question of what needs to be wiggled loose for them.
Mm,
Right. Because then
yeah.
that can get at a really gentle approach. And then it's the flip side of that coin is like, what do they need to be hit in the head with today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I'll play with that question later too, because I do think I've noticed that's something that I sometimes struggle with is I tend to go, I love the one-on-one coaching relationship where I really get to know somebody so closely. And sometimes trying to speak in the generalities
Mm-hmm.
um stumps me because I want to know
Don't do
their
it. Never do
thing.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Leave general behind from today forward. Always write your emails to one person.
I gotta remember that.
Yeah.
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 So like if you could write a letter to yourself 2 years ago today, what would the letter say?
Hmm. It would say you're doing great. Like, stop being a jerk to yourself for
Mm-hmm.
number one. Like, you're doing the best you can with what the life you've currently created for yourself. Um, that you have options, that there's tons of things right now that you're loving that you're doing. Let's pay attention to those.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's a huge one. And I think it's kind of starting there before, you know, you gotta find peace where you're at before trying to make huge changes. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I think it would be that, like, let's focusing on all the wonderful things you've created and all the opportunities you have in these busy days rather than being ticked off that you're running out the door and you've got four more things to do and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So you really know these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were this woman.
Definitely.
So when you think about that phrase, I'm not clear, what
Mm,
what power do you want those three words to have over you from here forward?
hmm. It would be fun if they could trigger me to think something else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know that it needs to be I'm clear. You know what, Karin? I think it's maybe I know this person.
Yeah, that's a great thought because you do.
That's way better than being clear.
It's also far more truthful because you're not unclear and you do know this person.
Hmm.
And you do seem like a person who really wants to be real and live inside of the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know this person. You know what they need, you know what they're up against. You know what they think will be dumb if you say it, and you know
Hmm.
what will make them laugh.
Yeah, I think that's
Mm-hmm.
all very true. I like that. It's not that I'm not clear. I know this person. That's very helpful.
Yeah. So anytime you have that, anything that sounds like I'm not clear, I don't know enough yet, or all the different cloaks that same statement will wear, it's like, no, no, no. I know this person.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
super helpful. I
Yeah.
like that.
Because what do you think the statement of I'm not clear was designed to do?
Oh, it stops me. It stops me
Yeah.
from being loud. It stops me from being visible. It stops me from helping. It stops me from pushing that button on my Facebook page that tells everybody I exist.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a button we need to push as soon as possible.
It's on my to-do list this week.
Okay, good. Can you do it like the second we hang up?
Deal.
Okay, good. Here's the like
Ooh, I just agreed to that. Okay, I
you
really
did.
will.
Yeah. I'll follow up. Um,
Thank you.
the thing I think that's really good for all of us to remember, because what we did is we started with a statement that we could have just like spent this whole time trying to get you clarity, but we would have been chasing something that didn't exist. It's sort of like going and eating a meal when you're not
Mm,
hungry. You never know when you're satisfied. The thing about our saboteurs and these thoughts that come in to get us is they're never specific enough. They never actually have a real point. Because when I said,
mhm.
what would clarity be? You're like, I don't know. Right. It's like, oh, I want to be successful. Well, what is success? Like, I haven't ever defined it. Right. So the saboteurs create these stuck places for us that feel important, but actually have no real definition or meaning. And when we poke at them, that becomes really clear.
Yeah, that's so helpful because I have been beating my head against the wall about clarity without ever getting real specific, other than changing words on a post or something, which isn't
Right.
the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And if you get clear, you can just do a post and go do another one later, right? The words become less high stakes.
Yes. Yes. Which I always love that.
I know. Yeah. You can just do this now. You can just be that coach that you are and help those people who you help and go be loud about it.
Well, thank you. That sounds fun. Now
Yeah.
that's lighter, which I love.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we know we're on the right track.
hmm
Is there anything else around that topic that feels like it's hanging open for you?
Honestly, I don't think so. No, I want to play with it.
Okay.
Um, but really just thinking about, I know this person is such a game changer for me that the clarity kind of disappears because it's a non-issue. It's thinking about that person rather than this vague
Yeah.
destination.
Yeah. I love it. You've made the jump from business being about you to business being about service, and then you can do anything.
Yes, it's that again. Yes.
And hey, we all do it. No judgment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, you have a lot to give. So let's go.
I like it. Thank you. Truly, really appreciate this.
Yeah. Thanks for being here and for bringing this topic because I mean, you're not alone. We all get right here from time to time.
I believe you. Thanks for the coaching. Always appreciate your support.
Thank you. So, wasn't that a super relatable and fun little piece of coaching that has huge impact? Thank you, Missy, for showing up. I want to also say thanks for being uncomfortable in business because it's people like her that make sure we all have a really good time around here. And that I get to do the fun things I get to do when I'm working with coaches to get them to consistent 5K months. So, if you are interested in getting coached and getting support with things like this, inside of Comfortable in Business, I'm your coach. You can get started today. We'll put the link in the show notes. But if you have any questions about it, you just reach out to me wherever you are connected to me already. And we can talk about if it's a great fit, if now is the time, or whatever else might come up. But I do have to say, I just really appreciate the fact that there are people in the world who are coming up against the hard parts and they're sticking with themselves and they're getting to the other side where they then get to support the people that they are here and called to support. It's a big deal. It's coaching and it's not going anywhere. So if you want my help making your business sustainable, reach out. I'm here for you. Thank you.